So, Path of Exile 2 is pointless. Now, I know how this sounds. Please, no hate. Lay down your pitchforks and torches. I'm not a hater, I love the game too. It is a great game, and this rant does have a point, I promise. So where is the problem? After all, it is kind of normal thing to make a sequel. Many companies do it, and there are numerous examples of successful sequels. GGG clearly knows how to do this. They love these types of games, they have experience, they have the skills. Action RPG games are clearly their type. The game is already a success on Twitch. It has been talked about, it is popular, it is promising in every sense. It is of high quality, even now, in its early access. We could say that PoE 2 is already a great game. It is the next step in the incremental evolution of action RPGs. Currently, the best game of the type. I don't think it's even close. Now, it is not a revolution. If you want to see what I think how one venue of revolution of RPGs might look like, check the game called Exanima. It is the very one I'm playing in the background right now. So again, where is the problem? GGG is clearly a competent team. They are skilled programmers and artisans. And I can't help but wonder if their skills could be maybe better invested elsewhere. The original game, Path of Exile 1, isn't really 1. That game was incrementally updated over the years, and it kept evolving and growing constantly. So that raises a question. Is the Path of Exile 2 new enough? Firstly, you must understand that RPG gaming market is kind of a niche. It is not insignificant, but it's really small compared to gaming market as a whole. RPG market is delegated mostly to the middle-aged, aging audience. Yes, old, balding, bearded men. Which is not necessarily a bad thing. But that market share is not getting any bigger. Not without the new and fresh approach to the genre. It just has a limited growth capacity. We could say that RPG game types peaked decades ago, really. In my opinion, the Path of Exile 2 is just too similar. It won't carve an additional market share or attract enough of new players. It is a hard game, it is still a very complex game. They didn't abandon their trademark of an insanely complex skill tree. Speaking of Path of Exile skill tree, small digression here. Let me just tell you a little story about Path of Exile skill tree. I know this is a trademark of the game, and it is fascinating and very unique. But how functional and good it really is. Honestly, I don't think that is that great. I know it is blasphemy to say it, but when I started playing a Path of Exile 1, like a decade ago, I was of course, like most people, stunned and amazed to see this majestic skill tree. I wanted to make a first character by myself, which was a mistake, but understandable one. I was playing Marauder at the time, I got on YouTube, I watched a few guides, and the consensus was just go around skill tree and grab health. Just grab all the health nodes you can possibly get. Because survivability was the key. Because the game is designed so that it becomes progressively more difficult and punishing in the later stages. Therefore, all that complexity was relegated just to get health. So I wasn't thrilled by that skill tree, and please remember, no other game ever tried to copy it, which is a sign. It is is like a monument to autism, really. I know this sounds harsh, but it's just an opinion. But whatever is the trademark of the game, many people like it, they can have it if they want. So this game will assuredly cannibalize the Path of Exile 1's audience. It will cannibalize part of Exile 1's merchandise and microtransactions. Although this is a respectable move by the developer, you cannot eat respect. It is a direct hit to their income. Additionally, they will have to work on 2 games now. 2 games with a significant overlap in their player base. That's not good. Again, my point is, Path of Exile 2 is just way too similar. It has the same characters. It has the same or similar skills. It has a similar skill tree. It is in the same world. It has same setting. It is just a reinvention of already good and popular game. A variation, a side grade if you will, which is a bad investment in my opinion. Now, I'm not saying that Path of Exile 2 is a mistake really. I'm sure it will be a successful game. But if I was their CEO or the main investor, I would urge them to consider other venues, let's say it like that. And if you ask me what would they be, well, it is hard to say. It's not my job to think about that, and not like anyone pays me to do it, but out of the top of my head, I will do something maybe more in tune with the younger audience, while possibly keeping the structure of the game. Implementing more components of the recent successful gaming genres. Maybe steal something from those infamous gacha games while keeping the financing models not as punishing. Maybe something like squad-based PvE action, where cooperation is not just recommended but mandatory. Yeah, I know. That sounds more like MMORPG. It could be still in the same world, but something fresh with the more mechanics of recent games. Also, I have already mentioned the Exanima as the example of one venue of RPG evolution. Exanima is great. It is my dream to see this game type adopted by some major company and made more accessible and polished. It is hard to explain why this game, which is based in realistic physics, is much better than the mindless clickfest we now have. Why every encounter feels so chaotic and organic and unique, and how the skill ceiling feels so satisfying to reach. You would just have to try it and see for yourself. Or maybe the game similar to the Path of Exile we now have, but let's put a camera on the shoulder of the character, rather the top-down view we have. And if this sounds suspiciously like Souls-like, you are right. Anyway, these are just my 2 cents. If you disagree or have anything to add, write it down, I might read it. So thanks for your time, and maybe I'll see you in the future.
I can't